InShalla and Ashe. Blessings to you. I am Tonya D, and welcome to my daily snippet. It's Saturday, July 31st, and thank goddess that it's truly the last day of July. Mine has rather been eventful, and I'm not going to lie there. But as I pull the cloud comforter over myself and really cuddle in, I bring to you the energy of the day that I love, my inner authority. That sounds kind of deep, right? But first, let's check into the element of the day. So we have a Yang or a Geng metal daymaster. So this daymaster has quite a bit of earth. So support is there. So support from this partner on the day branch, support from the ancestors and the parents. So if I was to look forward or into this, if this was actually a real person, they might be a bit crazy or a bit like a spoiled child, possibly like a trust funder. That's probably what I would call that. Someone who has so much coming to them that they really don't have to create anything. So it kind of makes them lazy. Hopefully not, but we're all here to be creative or co-create. This person also could have some conditions that they need support or resources to live because they're not able to forage through this thing called life, those laws and rules of man. But with all that earth, water would be the element that I would actually go to for on a day like today, whatever that looks like, to break up the energy of the earth. So, it's a pretty yin energy kind of day. So getting the earth in the flow, I would definitely call in the yang earth energy of both water and wood to break that all up. Since metal is the day master, this person doesn't have many friends. That was kind of funny, wasn't it? One of my little dreads fell out. But yeah, the friends. So the day master is ultimately what we always want to protect in the day of the year of life cycles, all of it kind of really. So this person doesn't really have many friends, and the only friend that he has is on the year is actually probably a problem, some adversity, someone who might be jealous, kind of like an enemy. The unbecoming friends, right? Might be a sibling or even an ancestor that doesn't isn't kind, I guess is what I would say, kind of harsh. And the reason I would bring in more fire energy, or I wouldn't actually, you would assume fire is needed because fire creates more of the earth to support, but we have enough energy there. We have a lot of earth in the foundation, and fire creates earth, but it also refines the daymaster. So to free up the daymaster, this yang metal from harm, actually. So water will take energy away from the earth, give it a job to do, produce something, and wood will break up the earth and disperse it. So I would suggest that this person, if this was a real person, to eat a diet of greens. That's the wood element energy to break up the earth. And activities that kind of refine the movement, like yoga, Pilates, any movement really, with all that earth there. It's the lymphatic system again. So I'm kind of curious, and I'm so ready for what tomorrow is going to bring, August 1st. I don't think it's actually going to change much on the month, but I haven't really looked forward that far. But we'll get into that tomorrow. Okay, so the cosmic energy, it might feel like a heavy, serious energy kind of day. It's been a journey of creating our personal love story. Yours, your inner dialogue, your inner reception center, and so much more. Just exploring what love is to you on your personal inside narrative. So today is a day where you take authority over the way that you authentically love yourself. This is an essence of non-judgment, taking this love story to like this higher galactic form. This, you're taking it by storm, or really, truly leaving the past behind. If you could see me, wave it goodbye if you want and leave it there. create a dialogue or a tone where you're the ringleader in charge of promoting that story, the personal love story. So no more self-loathing. I carry this in my day-to-day and more into my future self. Myself personally, my sun is in my 10th house. So, naturally I have this leadership kind of energy thing going on. Sorry, my hair's bugging me. There it went. So, yeah, I have this authority kind of naturally inside of me, just how I was born. So if you feel a sense of responsibility today and you don't know where it's coming from, it's like this feeling energy of your soul that truly wants to take either a leadership role, responsibility, or actually just being your inner guiding light, your authority. It's like being your own figure of authority. Instead of having an authority figure, you're actually your own figure in that authority in everything around you. So it's kind of like this empathetic kind of day where we're in this higher frequency, the sensitivity state. And we just start tuning into the frequency of what we feel, the vibration, and feel what truly feels, what that feels like. And follow the lead of your feelings. What do they need? Do they need rest? Do they need exercise, meditation, or reflection? Do you need to take a pause? So if you put your needs under the rug, they literally become amplified. So today, before we start any official roles, tend to our garden of our feelings first. And after you tune up and tune into those needs, you've cleared them up. It really is like cleaning up the soil of all the weeds, right? So when you do that, you can make those adult-like decisions, those authority, your own personal authority, your garden. You get a landscape with your heart and with your soul being the prime directive. So you want to ask yourself, what behavior, situation, or environment do I need to release or cut the cord on to remove it out of your life? Maybe you reflected on different habits or situations that really aren't fitting in to your personal love story. They're not fitting in like the glove. The puzzle piece is not moving. All those non-loving kinds of things that we do to ourselves, or the ones that literally steal energy from us or take energy from us, whatever word you want to use. So today, not only will you have the strength, but more importantly, the wisdom, the clarity. So this year, my podcast series is actually called the Wisdom Series. Not that I am full of wisdom by any mean, but I do have some pretty kind of unique muses that are kind of wise. If you feel called, go check those out. But this wisdom today comes from the ability to actually see our third eye, these aspects of your life from what I would say a new barometer, the first thing like on the barometer, and make this decision from a clerical or a clerk on what ends or needs a shift in this transformation. And the end of the day, we want whatever it is to be cultivated in the garden of self-love. So our goal during these snippets is to actually rise to our own frequency in our own personal love garden, our own love story. So what does promote, or where does this cultivation need to be promoted? Whether it's in a behavior, a feeling, an environment, a habit, it really can be anything. Committing to an exercise routine or a habit, daily meditation, prayer, rituals, basically any kind of ritual. A shift in our attitude, the narrative, becoming that leader inside of us. A positive attitude, or at least an optimistic one. Creating a new love style and how you manage your own personal self-love. Maybe you create a calendar in your love story and you continue with the plan on how this is going to go and go and go and go beyond the day-to-day out into the galactic future, creating another 30 days of ways that you're going to commit to actually your story and be responsible to it, or at least for it. So it's really a day to not just decide, but kind of get in the flow of the aspects of your life that really are not loving to yourself, the negative narrative, a feeling of guilt, whatever it is, they need to be removed They need to go. So imagine a dump truck picking them up and recycling them into the alignment of your love story, where you can make a plan and, how can I improve my personal love story in this journey, the quality of my inner love in that piece of my own personal pie. So I would probably use a flower. I'm always drawing flowers out of circles, little daisies, I guess. So in doing this, you should feel empowered, not powerless. So these shifts or changes bring us to our own state of enlightenment. So you're creating your own policy, your own personal policy on your love story. Really cutting away anything that must go, that inner authority, your inner manager is kind of awake and in charge. So you get to decide what gets to come as well as what gets to go. So fill up that arena in that area of what you no longer are seriously subscribing to with what you want to come to you, like bring it in. You want to protect yourself against all of these thoughts that are non-loving, they're malicious, maybe they're manipulative. You want to bring in the ancient wisdom, those spiritual aspects that truly raise the vibration of both the physical and those subtle bodies. They communicate with our highest levels of spirit and even the multidimensional atmospheres. So our third eye is truly active today. And I can't speak for you, but mine, it's like it's merged. It's like the two hemispheres of my brain are like whew, swooshed together. So deep blues or purples resonate for today, but you can bring them in with your socks, jewelry, hat, food, whatever it is. Or truly just wear something that makes you feel empowered. It might be red, bright red. It doesn't really matter. The angelic beings of today, I'm switching it up. Raziel, is always there. We're in the season of Leo, but you can always welcome to call in any angelic being, really. There's Verchiel. He's also an angel of Leo, means ruler. This angelic being brings with it our courage to actually bring in our own shining light into the world that struggles against the darkness. It's truly kind of fitting for the globe. It's as if we're challenged by the world and we get to challenge back. So it's like adversity washes against us, but we're actually rising against those waves. And we also have Azrael, whom God helps. This is also kind of the angel of death. I don't look at it as always death, but it's the supportive role for these transformational changes and the transitions. So he kind of brings an end to all things. So you could bring in this being for those things that, you might have a hard time cutting away from your life, those habits that aren't really in your best interest. This angelic being is with us through all the various changes in our life, career, relationships, really all of it. You want to call him in for not just grieving, which there are a variety of ways of grieving as well. I just did a podcast on that, but also with accepting and adjusting to the change and the transformation. And then we can bring in Uriel to illuminate. It's the light of God. That's the angel of light, to illuminate the change, bring in those epiphanies, clear up the debris of the negative thoughts or any thoughts that aren't resonating with you, just assisting and giving the needed guidance or assistance in making those decisions, your love story decisions. So taking those aha and those otherworldly insights, they're probably going to open up today. And then there's another archangel, Cambiel, the vessel. Now, we are all little mini vessels in a way, right? But Cambiel brings in the process of this creation narrative, and it requires us to really draw something from within and then bring it out into the world. So we take these experiences and emotions that have been given to us and pass them along. The good, the bad, the beauty, the pain, it's all a process. And we can really enrich anybody around us, even when we're sacrificing a piece of ourselves. So there's like this balance. So we can pour out our hearts in hopes that another vessel will take a drop of it with them, the experience, of whatever that is. We kind of hope to be mentors and guide people through experience. Now, the card of the day, I wanted to do something light, and I also I know I said I was going to stick with the love pack for the first 10 days, but I switched it up a little bit. This is, I think it's called the Weaver Tarot, or it's something like that. Don't quote me on that one. I was searching for one of my first decks that I ever was playing with, but this is the one I found instead. But we have the Conqueror of Wands. I don't know if you can see it. I tried to take a better picture. And it is reversed, if you can see that at least. So we have delays, a buildup of creative energy, internal, external. So if we focus on them, we kind of get in this mode of frustration. So this only creates more resistance and even more frustration. So, what's the narrative? What should we do? Literally just shift our focus to something else, to literally energetically loosen the reins. I always think of horses when I think of reins, holding back the horse. So loosen up the reins on the fixation, and it'll free up those energetic spaces for flow, just restoring it back, and don't approach the new outlet from a mental space of the mind, like, I am doing this so I can move forward with that. Instead, like, it's the surrendering, truly surrendering. Let the project, whatever it is, die so it can actually be reborn as it needs to be born. So this card was actually pretty fitting for a day like today, just cutting loose of all those things that no longer vibe in your personal love story. You really can't make this shift up. And it's funny how I picked the card today and went to this other deck, how it showed up. So, yeah. And some affirmations to get you on your way for a day like today. It'd be something like, I am recalibrating new behaviors that increase the frequency and the vibration on my love story in my own personal heart. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling and sensing. Or I'm letting go of all the heartache, my traumas, and all the pain in my heart from the past. I am loving myself first. I think this is the best one, to be honest. I am loving myself first before my heart commits to actually loving another. Now, that's probably the juicy one. Go ahead and make it a blessed and grateful day, InShalla. And as always, Ashe.